Let's move this camera around a little bit. Seems okay there. It's a cursed pirate, oh no! AK, it's the samey shit we gotta kill over and over again. While we forget that we have to actually press down the right trigger. Oh yeah, that's a thing. So we need to 100% this. I keep forgetting I can't just hold the fucking right trigger or the left trigger down when I'm using that. This thing's actually pretty decent. This fucking guy is being super annoying. He keeps healing every time he hits us. I don't know what he's healing off of because we technically don't have any health here.
Oh, thank God you got the whiskey. Frank was beginning to get violent. Please return the drinks to him.
Yes. Frank. Frank is the one who needs the drinks. I think there was a station right over there, but I don't think you're allowed to use any stations until you repair this first one. Pretty sure. Is this Wilso's music? I'll be damned. Holy shit. I didn't know you listened to chill stuff, Wilso. Well, some of your stuff's pretty chill, but usually there's an electric guitar banging in there somewhere. The fall is coming in. I love the fall. I love Ohio fall. You can say a lot of shitty things about Ohio. It's true, you can. But we've got the Ohio State Buckeyes. And we've got really nice falls. Really nice. It is nice, chill. It's chill, crisp, clean at night. Walk and have the air fill your lungs up and feel refreshed. And it's warm during the days. I love the fall. It's come early this year. Usually August, we're still really heating up, but I think there's some 90 degrees this weekend, but it's not been that way. That's an off. It's been like low 80s, so it's been really nice. And it's starting to get cold at night, which is great. Yo, Endless King! What up, Endless King? Thanks for being here, man. We're doing the DLC. I realize we don't have to dig into UVHM or hit level 80. Which we probably won't hit level 80 anyway, to get all the achievements, so I'm just going to go ahead and start digging into these DLCs to level up.
You have a problem, Frank. You are so drunk you're speaking the gibberish. Please return to me, friend. Frank is beyond help.
Nothing playing AC like Assassin's Creed. Is that what that is? Assassin's Creed? I think it's Assassin's Creed, right? Internship. This is real cool with both guns while guns working. Oh, that'll be nice. No wonder it was so fucking jumpy. Each shot that hits an enemy has a chance to improve accuracy with guns. Oh, damn. Killing an enemy causes every shot to have a chance to add ammunition to the magazine. There's so many good skills here. Increases the cooldown rate of your gun's zerking ability. Good. What we need is the one where, yeah, yippee-ki-yay. That's what we gotta get to. Catch a gun! Catch a gun! Look me face down in the dirt with a bottle in one hand. Looks like me face down in the dirt with a bottle in one hand. Just about to wake up, do it again. Get the stream going. Sly Gumby's a legend, man. He's a leader in the Fortnite community in a huge way. He's got the best YouTube content on Fortnite, I think. Save the world, that is. He's really, really good at Dauntless. He's really good at all the games he plays. He's done great content for World War Z. He's done great content for Dauntless. I really like his Dauntless content. I don't even play the game, but I watch his YouTube guides because they're so good. So make sure you check him out. He's really, really, really talented. He's partnered here on this platform for a reason. But he's great. He is a talent. And a good one. And a good one. Thanks for being here, Gumby. Probably gonna get Borderlands 3. You should, Charles. That'll be exciting, buddy. That'll be exciting. Yo, Slut. Gumby! Thanks for being here. Yo, trained dumbass. I empathize. Trained dumbass, thank you for taking the red pill. Seeing just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Welcome to reality. Trained dumbass, thanks a lot for that follow, man. What's up, brother? What up, man? Trying to get all the achievements across the Borderlands franchise before Borderlands 3 is out. That's what we're up to. So Anthony Birch's version of Hunter S. Thompson is very, very alone out in this desert.
You'll be on your way to Captain Scarlet and the Lost Treasure. But you'll be leaving me alone.
Well, hey, how you doing? They call me Jocko the Joker. I'm a laugh a minute.
I mean, this is legit a dead body he's strung up. Have you done your Borderlands playthrough yet, Gumby? Rule on September 13th. Hell yeah. That's right. That's right. It's gonna be exciting. You know, the girl that made me get it is still super flaky. Yeah, that sucks. Made me get it. Did she buy it for you, or did you buy it? There's a really good gun coming up, the Reaper. So I'm guessing you're not getting Borderlands 3. Now, are you gonna go back to one of your original plans? I know you were, the last time we talked, you were thinking about kind of changing this plan, but Division 2? Is that when you make your return for Division 2, or are Division 2's numbers even worth it anymore for you? I know you've made a community on Dauntless, like that's... Yeah, I don't know how Remnant's doing for you. I've caught very little of your Remnant streams. I've been there, but I haven't gotten to see or learn enough about it, or how you're doing on there. Division 2 failed me, okay. What do you think the next plan is, though? I always like to hear your plans. You've always got some business plan.
That's Jennifer. A nice girl, but very naive. I think she has a magnetic overthruster you could use for the sandscape.
Oh my god, dude. the rope around her neck. 1 foot to kind of like just fucking totally haphazard jerry rig that corpse up. I don't know what I'm going to focus on, but for me, I'll be pushing Remnant and Dauntless for now. Okay. So you liked... I know you love Dauntless. You must be liking Remnant. No more World War Z. And how do you... What did you think of the Fortnite update? I didn't get to actually talk to you yesterday. These aren't bad mods. That one's not very good. Doesn't matter. In a few levels, we're going to be super OP. Wow. It's Borderlands 2, so we're well equipped enough not to die at a constant. There's a Borderlands. I saw that. I jumped in there real quick before I started the stream, and well, as I started the stream, the first few things we did was jump into Pandora. It's pretty sweet. They did a good job. They did a really good job making it feel like Pandora. That's for sure, dude. Fortnite update is just a standard update. Finally, new llama, new heroes, new weapons, new small quest line. So what's all this drama I've been hearing about? Charles was telling me, he's one of our viewers here, Ways Leaders, that the Fortnite competitive community is on the point of all leaving the game in mass.
Hello, person. I'm feeling very good.
I let my own feelings be known about that, but
You've met Lionel. How are you, Lionel?
Not dead, sir.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. It looks pretty cool.
Oh, tell me about it. How is your family?
Well, Jake.
That is a great story,
Oh
Lionel.
my.
Friend, I believe It's yours.
Crying about the Bic, but I don't know. Yeah, well, my opinion was like the game's been out less than 2 years, and fucking would. I'm in my early 20s. I've played this game less than 2 years, and I'm a multi-millionaire, and I'm set for life. Fuck this game. A level for empathy is, like I said, there's people who bust their ass in a factory for 40 years, and their knees go out and their back goes out. They make $30,000 a year. They have to do the psychological torture of the same monotonous task over and over again. And if the fucking boss changes it up, they got a family. There's no, you know, you've got a family yourself. There's no switching. Mentioned my sister, like, she had a college basketball scholarship. You know, her knees hurt, her back hurts, doesn't matter. If she doesn't play ball, she doesn't get her college paid for, so. Take the race out of this word, okay? Because I know it's gotten like all these connotations anymore, but privilege. It's a privilege if you get to say, "Oh, fuck this game." And retire in your fucking 20s again, like, and just to think of that in the global terms, like, if you're a middle-class American, you're in the 0.1% of the whole world, or top 1% of the whole world as far as global wealth is concerned. Or any developed, Germany, France, Britain, Mexico, Canada. If you're in any really well-developed, any developed world country, as they call them, then you're in the top 1% if you're middle class. So what does that make somebody in their early 20s who became a multi-millionaire playing Fortnite in their early 20s? 0.001%, especially for their age group, and you're gonna bitch about it? So I went on this big long conversation about, like, that's, you know, if Fortnite Battle Royale is being taken serious as a competitive game, which at the very least, whether you do or I don't, doesn't matter, Epic it appears to be. They've taken this, like, celebrity, it used to be celebrity and good players, and they would mix them together. Now it's mostly like you qualify, there's a system, and it's only really competitive players. That's who we take seriously. And the big names don't win these tournaments anymore, and so in other words, Epic views it as a true competitive sport. So their players are athletes, and what happens if you're an athlete? Well, if you're in the top 200 in the tennis world, you're only making 40 grand a year. And if the courts suck and the travel sucks, you don't have anyone to carry your bags, you don't get your hotel room or whatever, it doesn't matter, you got to play tennis or you're not going to eat. So those players who are taking this serious as a sport are going to keep going regardless. And I think that should tell you a lot. Also, my final point was that Fortnite is just bigger than them now. So, thanks for letting me indulge in that. With the they lower the attack speed of the mech, but also the building speed. You're describing me. I work my ass off for bad pay. What do you do for a living? Every season I hear them bitch about something. To me, they are never happy. It's super trendy to hate on games and devs these days. When was the last time you heard Shepherd praise a game to their sheep? So, viewer we have in here, I don't know if you've gotten, what am I doing? Gotten acquainted with him yet, acquainted. Gotta say it perfect or we'll get called on it. Riker's Iron. Riker's Iron is a Canadian. He worked in the games industry though. Went back and did it for multiple years, and he talks about this a lot. And him and I have a belief, we've discussed that, like, the whole PC culture clash thing, you know, the SJWs versus whatever, that's all a distraction for a larger thing that's been simmering for a while, since Call of Duty days at least, when devs had their lives threatened. And that's the relationship and conversation between gamers and developers, and how we make that healthy, because I do think gamer opinions need to be respected. I think that if you play Fortnite a lot, you have a valid, you should get 2 cents worth, because a game is only alive from its players, and players put the time in, like yourself with Fortnite Save the World. And they come to have a deeper understanding, truly. They truly know it as a player. They're separated from the Carishan, learn the meta, learn the mechanics, and end up knowing things the developers don't even know about their own game. Though, of course, the developers are going to know a lot that we don't know. And I wish that that relationship could be healthier. And I think that it's that relationship between publisher and developer, and between gamers and developers, with the developers sadly in between it all, That's going to define where we head going forward, whether the developers are going to get unionized or whether the developers are just going to quit listening to us altogether, whether we're going to continue to let this kind of mob mindset run a lot of things, which is unfortunately where I agree with you and where it's been going. Yeah, it's like America, right? To a degree. We don't have a full democracy. We got a republic. You elect your representatives, and then they go do the voting for you on the big stuff. So, I don't think that would be such a bad system to look at for this relationship. Maybe don't go on Reddit as much. Isn't that what a community manager's for? Let them kind of scan it and filter it, and then bring you some points from it, and that person will represent the gamers in a meeting, but that's it. Don't, like what happened with Apex, where clearly somebody really attached to the product, someone really into the game, who has been with Respawn since Titanfall 2, you know, went ahead and voluntarily put himself on the front lines of the internet mob on faceless, nameless Reddit, anonymous hate Reddit. And he broke a little bit, said some things he shouldn't have said, but at the same time, clearly he meant it. It's getting complicated, but I think that you gotta use your community managers. That's how you give the player a voice in the room. But you gotta filter it. And I don't think it's wrong that the developers keep the mech. They worked hard on the mech. They put the mech in the game. As I said, my nephew, he looks at it, he just thinks, oh, this is a cool-ass mech. He doesn't think about it from, like, a competitive thing. He thinks, oh, this is sweet, it's a mech. And wants to play it. And my nephew is the... Oh, we got a good rule on that. Or wait, did we? Times 2x? Maybe we didn't.
So I had to pretend to kill him to keep the rest of the crew in line.
Every season, was that Jay Fresh? Who's Jay Fresh gonna be? If everyone would listen to each other, I feel like every game would be 10 times better. Did you hear that? Oh, let's not talk about that, King. We'll keep it to the video games. We'll avoid talking about politicians. I just mean, like, we have a republic. Republic, representational government. We don't, it's not a full democracy. Which is fine by me. I believe in a republic. I don't believe in full democracy either. It's still democracy. But it's not, you know, total. And anyway. I don't think a republic system is not a bad thing to look at when you're talking about what the future relationship between gamers and developers is going to look like. And that means, whether this is the function of community manager, or whether it means we need to hire a completely new type of person, you only put a couple people on the Reddit, and people like that are passionate in both directions, not people like the Borderlands forum with the whole flack thing, where if you misgender flack, you get banned. The Borderlands forums are run by some, like, Gestapo kind of people, man. It's fucking... They're just there to protect the devs, and that doesn't help anybody either. Because then you're not going to get the real shit. It's like living in fucking, you know, Stalin land. He only ever hears what he wants, which is that he's perfect, that his speeches are perfect, that everything is perfect. Even though the people are starving, and they're super poor, and... See you later, gonna do some stuff. Alright, see you, King. Later, dude. I mean, games don't cause mass shootings, alright? That's a scientific fact. I don't care who the politician is. It could be Democrat, it could be Republican. You don't fuck with the video games, in my opinion. But I'm not going to talk about that shit on here, though, because I already say enough shit that gets me in trouble. Even in Canada, it's not the best. Even in Canada. Well, he works in Canada, so I'm saying it's an industry thing. It's international. It's just how the industry works. You know, he mentions sort of like, you know, some unique things with Canadians and why he's not fully for the union. You know, you don't know. You don't know. So in America, we have the teachers union. The teachers union is a really stagnant thing. Teachers can't get fired. Bad teachers continue to make a good living off the system, and our education system has been really stagnant because of the damn teachers union. Is a teachers union a bad thing? No. But when a union gets really fucking powerful, it means that it gets ossified. Turns to bone. It gets way too static. You can't implement any shift in it. There's no drive to make any shift in it. You can maintain. But we also had United Auto Workers Union. It did help build them out of middle class, so. Will it work in video games? you have two things there. You'll either give the developers better deadlines, and they're going to get compensated well, which they already get paid well, most of them. And they're going to be able to push back against some of the practices of the game. But a lot of the industry practices are the same shit that goes on in Hollywood. You know, you work on a job a couple years, you go to the next gig because the cycle's over. Ubisoft, according to Rikers, is unique because it keeps people around. It keeps people around, and they're just supposed to work on their portfolio. But he also says that's why, like, Assassin's Creed ended up being the same game over and over again. It's why Lego ended up being the same game over and over again. TOS, for us, they get fired. TOS, what are you talking about? Jay Fresh is one of the Titanfall PR guys that I used to know. I guess talk shit back to the other trolls back in the day. I don't know the details. Interesting. I don't know if it was Jay Fresh. It was DKA05, and he... I don't know if you're too aware of the Apex Legends drama. What occurred is they did a bad event. Alright. It's my take on it, but largely my take is everyone else's take. The loot boxes were $7. It was an event that I put 40, 50 hours into, and I was able to get a banner and a song out of it. Because everything you had to buy. And the loot boxes were $7 or $70 for 10 as a discount, boy. And you got 3 items out of it, which is usually 2 crowns and 1 random item from the event. It cost, and the goal of the event was to get an heirloom. In order to get the heirloom, you had to get every item, which was 24 items, so you'd have to buy, at a minimum, 24 packs. And then from there, you had a chance to get the heirloom. So they averaged it out, and it was like $180 to buy an axe, a digital axe, on a server. You know, if the servers go down, you can't even own that axe. I can go to Menards right now, buy an axe for $30. It's going to last me for 10 years, let alone a digital axe. So that's just the beginning of it. And people were pissed, and I think rightfully so, especially in the larger context of where we're heading as an industry with loot boxes. Console manufacturers saying you got to show off the drop rates. There's bipartisan support in the Senate to regulate loot boxes. They got banned in Belgium. The state of Hawaii's talked about banning them. So it's a bad time to say, hey, let's put out some $10 loot boxes. Reddit got pissed. Reddit started a petition. Reddit got the answer so they thought that they wanted. They felt like they had pushed and they'd won like always. We got him, boys. We caught the Boston Bomber. Well, the response of Respawn was like, we didn't do this one right. We'll do better in the future. And offered the skins individually on certain days for $20. Well, Reddit on the first day felt like we did it. We did it. We got the Boston Bomber again. We've solved this issue. 3 cheers for the power of the internet. But then started to realize, oh wait, we didn't really get it because the response is not any big shift at all. It's funny, the skins are still really expensive. The event still functions identically. And so there was, on the next day, there was blowback, plenty of blowback. And on the third day, the Respawn devs, well, actually they had been active from the beginning here, really started to fight it out with the players. And things started to devolve, where people were like, when they felt like they had gotten the response that, this ship's kind of cool. And these ships in general are kind of cool. The response that they wanted from the devs, everyone was happy, and whatever the devs said was perfect. Then when they started to feel they hadn't got the response that they wanted, which just happened on a dime, it was still the exact, it's the same response. We're sorry, we'll do better in the future. Nothing changed, but when they decided that it wasn't what they wanted, well, they started fighting more, and then the devs started fighting. And things were said like, most of you are freeloaders, and even though it was said in jest, it was the wrong word. Gamers can be asshats. He's experienced too many of them. The dickhead was thrown around. Things got tense. Then Respawn on the 4th day had to issue a general apology saying that things got out of hand. Like, the event already wasn't good, but the players were out of hand too because they were getting death threats. They never offered any evidence to that, but that's what they claim. And that's where Apex is at, and that's where the Respawn dev is at, and that's why I'm saying having a in-between is usually for the better. But I don't blame devs if they just don't post on forum boards anymore. Again, they are just people trying to make a living, after all. So you can't just, you know, smack them over the head with a hammer and say, get this done, monkey, because that's not how that works. TOS for us to get fired. You said you talk too much about stuff that could get you in trouble. I said TOS, but oh, my bad. But well, a teacher is really shitty and shit to get fired. Well, not in the US. In the US, we have something called tenure, and the union protects you unless you really fuck up. The only way that you're gonna get removed is if you resign, and they'll only make you resign if you do something really bad. Like, I had a high school teacher who was touching boys for years, as in high school boys, filming them and shit, and got away with it. It wasn't until the kid died, and I am not exaggerating one iota, that he had to resign. Didn't even fire. Not fired. He got to resign. Yeah, this is, I saw on Twitter, Vince apologizing. It was one of the guys calling out the freeloaders. Freeloaders, I think Gumby was in bad taste. I know he was joking, but it's a free-to-play game. And freeloaders in the context of $7 loot box, I'm not paying $7. I don't believe in loot boxes in general. On principle, I don't buy loot boxes. Alright? That's just my take. I don't think they're good for gaming. I think that games have been watered down. I think that mechanically games have suffered, trying to force these monetization practices into the game. I think that they're flirting with fire, but I don't think EA gives a shit, because EA is a corporation, and the corporation is forever. I'm not against corporations or anything like that, but what happened in the EU is regulation was put in place. Privacy regulation, all this stuff. What happened was a bunch of small and medium developers had to close down shop because they couldn't afford to compete with the regulations. Big companies don't give a shit. They can afford the regulation. They get protected by the regulation. EA doesn't care if the US Senate decides to pass a bill and the president signs it into law that says that, you know, you have to do all this special stuff with loot boxes and you got to require age verification, etc., because all that's going to close down is developers that made games like Risk of Rain 2 or Remnants from the Ashes. They're going to be the ones who can't afford the lawyers, the accountants, and the red tape to manage that kind of bureaucracy. EA doesn't give a shit. That's perfect for them. Less competition. And I'm willing to put money on Apex. I put $20-30 on it, actually. I bought the season pass for my friends. $30 is more than generous, in my opinion, for Apex Legends. It's a multiplayer only game, and I would have paid that much for that game in, you know, the early 2000s. That's about what that kind of game would cost. I gotta be smarter than the ship. Alright, see you, Charles. Have a good day, man. I appreciate you coming in here and hanging out and helping us start to have a conversation. Charles, you have a good day. You have a great day. You have a fantastic day. You have a fabulous day. You have a superior day. You have a wonderful day. You have a grand day. You have a great day. You have a good day. See you, Charles. Later, buddy. I know he was just joking, and I think that the news, it takes that thing out of context too much, because he's like, you know, parentheses, and we love that. Oh. You're a friend. Anyway. But it was just not the right time and place. It's kind of like, you know, being at a funeral and making a joke about how a guy's a dick or something. Making a cancer joke to somebody who just, like, got diagnosed with cancer. They're all a bunch of freeloaders in the context of an event where it was way too heavily monetized. You know, $70, I could buy the digital. We just got a fucking legendary out of a damn locker. That's crazy. Hell yeah. You know, you could buy the digital system. You could buy the digital deluxe of Battleborn, or sorry, of Borderlands. You could buy 2 AAA games at Target. You know, Target's always got good prices on games. You could go to Walmart and buy a couple games that are AAA. You could get on Amazon, and we saw that we could buy Rage 2 and we could buy Far Cry 5. Right now, I could buy Far Cry 5 because it's on sale. I could buy Far Cry New Dawn. I could buy the BioShock collection. and I'd still have money left over for a dinner out. I'd have 20 bucks left over for the price of 10 of their loot boxes, which still wouldn't even get you halfway to the yaks. It's insulting. That's my take. I really felt like it was insulting how they monetized that out and really tried to gouge us. But at the same time, I respect their passion. I know that you respect the devs and you think that they get a shitty lot in it. And I mostly agree with you. I think that people have a general lack of respect for them and the work that they do, and the fact that it takes a lot of creativity and a lot of intelligence and a lot of hard work to make games. But I think that companies like EA, when they charge 70 bucks for some loot boxes, we have to push back. As consumers, we gotta push back. The shit's getting out of hand. I don't like that in 2012 or 2009 or whatever, I could pay 60 bucks at GameStop or Target and buy myself a video game, and I had nothing watering it down. None of this DRM. Just go farm to your heart's content, level characters to your heart's content, do whatever the hell you wanted. You own the game, enjoy it, have at it. And you know what? They always added more features. There was split screen, there was offline play, there was everything under the kitchen, everything but the kitchen sink. And the kitchen sink, I should say. And now it's like Madden. Look at the sports games. Look at the state of the damn sports games. The loot system in that event sounds hella steep. It was pretty ugly. It was pretty ugly. Thank you for hearing me out on that. I mean, the sports games, that's tragic. We talked about this yesterday a little bit. Like, I used to play MLB Pitch. I used to buy NFL Fever. And you'd buy that game and you could make your own character and you could do many drafted seasons and you could play that game and there was nothing getting in the way, and there was only... And now I hear that... How messed up he looks. Is he like a rat? Covered in barbed wire. Now it's like, you buy a sports game, you have to buy a loot box to get the players, and then there's different tiers of the players, and then the players like burn out. Like, okay, we got the gold Tom Brady. Oh, hell yeah, I got the gold Tom Brady. Like, he's good for 2 multiplayer matches. Then you got to go and buy even more boxes to hope to get him again, and it's bad. So bad how much they've watered that shit down. See, this is why I was confused as fuck when Fortnite BR came out. They had $20 skins and I didn't hear anyone complain. I was literally blown away at those prices. They've gotten shitty. They've gotten shitty, Gumby. Yeah, 20 bucks is a lot for a skin. See, that was my original fallout with Fortnite, personally, is that I bought, like you did, the super version, the $200 version. And I felt like, okay, if this is going to be like a, one of these Destiny kind of things, then that should cover me for life, because that's plenty. That's plenty of money for a game. It's too much. I could buy a console for that. I could have bought a Wii U and got some controllers and the whole thing. And I didn't like that after I'd already bought this Super Edition, that I felt like I was being compelled to buy loot boxes and I was being limited, and how much I could, like, the daily XP bonuses and the research points and the whole thing. I felt like I've paid a lot for this now. I paid much more than what I paid for, say, Borderlands. I feel like I should just be able to experience this game now. Maybe that's my fault for buying into a beta, but I felt that Fortnite at its opening was really diluted with mobile features. It's not that anymore, but sports games are really bad. Right, sports games are really bad, and it's two-sided. You go to the movies, you go see the Avengers, you pay your 10 bucks or 5 bucks, however much it is in your area. Maybe it's even more expensive if you're in a big city. And then you watch the movie and you get 2 hours of entertainment, and then you've got to buy that ticket again if you're going to go watch it in the theater again. Now, perhaps movies and video games are a false equivalency. I don't know. But I do know if you look at it and you say it's a 1-to-1 ratio and you look at it dollar per dollar, video games have always been a really nice value. You buy them, 40, 50, 60 bucks, 70 bucks. And if it's a good game, like I love this game, you've loved Fortnite and Dauntless and so forth, and many others, you got a damn good value. So, and then we started expecting them to also support it with patches. And I understand the want and the need to keep making money off your software over the long haul. You got to buy a licensing fee for Adobe products. You got to rebuy the license for Microsoft's products of Office Suite, unless you buy a lifetime license. Like, no other software but video games was saying buy once and you're good. We players were saying we want content that lasts us hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and years even. But saying we still want to pay the same price. Now, I don't think we were going to get away with that. But we haven't found the balance either. And what sucks is the people that have gotten dicked are like the sports game players. The people who don't really buy any other games but FIFA every year. They're like, holy shit, these people are wholly ignorant to the loot box system and the microtransaction system. They think this is just how games work. We can freaking absolutely go to the cleaners on these people. It hasn't been until recently that, like, the mainstream of gamers have been saying, hey, sports game fans, you don't gotta take that shit. That's gotten out of hand. Not only that, I hear it's terrible. Like, I'm hearing Madden 20 is a terrible game. Not programmed well, doesn't function well, the physics are bad, the whole thing. I'm surprised so many people are upset about Borderlands 3 Season Pass price. The thing about Borderlands Season Pass price, and I agree with you, Adam, is like, you were willing to pay $20 for Destiny's so-called expansions, which were usually half the content of a single Borderlands DLC. Let alone the cost of a Battleborn operation that cost, what, $5 and it offered like 30 to 40 hours of content. So paying $15 for a Borderlands DLC, Borderlands 3 especially, which you know is going to get you probably a 5 to 10 hour campaign with side quests, with some endgame activities, new areas, new story. That's a fair price. But hey, here's the secret. Just buy the season passes. Go buy the digital deluxe. And you're literally getting that DLC for like $7 each. Is it $60 for the raw game and then you're paying $30 for the season pass? Like, I had some discounts from Prime Day and I was able to get the digital deluxe for $90. I got the game and I've got all the DLC for $20. That's a great deal. Don't bitch, just look for the deals. And hey, if you don't like it, here's the biggest secret in gaming. Here's the biggest secret in gaming. You don't have to buy games day one. You don't have to pre-order. Games go down in price like nothing else. They're 10 times worse than cars. You know how cars don't hold their market value? Like, as soon as you drive them off the lot, they lose money, they say. Well, which is true. That's games for you. 76. I bought 76 day one. It was at Target. It was at Walmart for $20, not a week later. Fuck me, right? Fuck anybody who pre-ordered that game. You know, we got dicked on that. But that's games in general. Fallout 76 was extreme about that, but that's games in general. They just go down in price to a point. And then eventually they get old enough they become like collector's items if they're a classic. Like, you know, buying a classic NES with perfect, everything's pristine is going to be pricey. That's a collector's item. The Wii U, I think, is going to become a collector's item. But beyond that, a 2 or 3 year old game is going to be $10 in the bargain bin. Just be patient. If you think the prices are steep, just be patient. But no, it's, yeah, $20 skins is outrageous. You're right. There should have been more blowback about that, Will. Gumby, sorry. Gumby. Which sort of started to transpire on the Apex Legends, the whole Reddit thing is like, they were charging $20 for the skins. People were like, oh, that's outrageous. How could you? That's terrible. It's still completely out of whack. And people were mentioning on the Reddit, like, how no one's upset about Fortnite charging that much for skins. Why can't Apex charge that much for skins? It's not about the $20 skins. I'm not against that either. It's, if that would have been the system from the beginning, it would have been okay. It's the $7 loot boxes or 70 for 10. It's just the idea that they thought that that was an okay price for fucking 3 random items. I mean, $7 is a Chipotle burrito. $70 is many things as we went over.
Got some condiments? Great. Bring that stuff back here and we'll try to master
All this work for condiments. That's not very accurate, is it? I feel like they raised the bar for all the games to charge way too much for cosmetics. I think you're right. I think when people voted with their wallet and decided to buy into that shit, that's what changed it. We that come from the older school now, because games have only really been around since the 70s. It's a young medium. Rikers and I talk about this. It's a young medium. It doesn't get the respect it deserves yet in many different ways, from artistic merit to the developers to the people who make the games. Though I also think they deserve a face. Sid Meier, Peter Molyneux, Will Wright, those people helped change gaming. Randy Pitchford. We need more Cliffy B celebrities to represent us so that they don't think that we're school shooters and demon worshippers. But, it blows my mind that Morrowind, my favorite game ever, is something this thing is hugely inaccurate. Wildly inaccurate, man. Morrowind, Game of the Year edition, all the DLC, it was like 40 bucks, man. Walmart, brand new, crisp, came in a case, had a full color guide, had a little mail-in rebate for the guide, which I got later on, had a big discount to that too. Was a supreme value. I put thousands of hours into Morrowind, thousands of hours, and not once was there ever the thought that now that I've bought this game, will I have to go and buy a loot box or buy a mandatory DLC or have an online connection. And now, that's just what you expect out of a game. You don't think that it's going to be complete. You don't think that you're not going to get out of this without having to pay $15 more down the road every 6 months. That's why I bought the most expensive version of Fortnite. It's that idea, it's that expectation going into it that they're gonna gouge you. At some point you're gonna get hit again. So do you want to do it now or do you want to do it later? And I tried to do it now, and then I was disappointed to find that I still felt like they were trying to get me. There's something special about this shotgun, but I forget what it is. I think it heals, but it has some weaknesses to it. Sell their accounts with those skins and make stupid amounts of money. I want to know who these people are, or whether or not they're in massive credit card debt, who are willing to spend such exorbitant amounts of money on nothing. How does that happen? How do you have so much cash to burn you can just drop $10,000 on a Fortnite account? $10,000 is more than I've made in the last 5 years together, combined. Easy. Easy. And people can just spend that kind of money on an account. I don't think I've ever seen that much money in my whole life, actually. Which is on me. It's up to me to do that. But still, it's like, where do these people make this kind of money? Especially money like throwaway money. That's a foreign term. Throwaway money? Dude, people sold their accounts when people wanted the Wraith Knife or Apex. Well, people wasted way too much money on that shit, too. Oh, that didn't go so well for us, huh? Rip.
Don't worry, customer. Death happens to all of us every once in a while. Except Handsome Jack.
Watch out for that Leviathan.
Just slather Shiv Spike in those condiments. It'll be gross, but at least your lungs will hold my fear.
Oh, I think he gets 8 here.
Right. Now just push him in and let the sand grubs do the rest.
I am a sinking collection of hatred.
You know, I think I'm gonna miss him. Anyway, good job. Come on back.
Oh, Miss Marks.
Actually, you know what? I don't miss him at all.